Piranta,
Yeah.
why are we here? Do you realise why we are here? Why do you think we're here in this universe? Do you think there's a purpose for all of us to be here?
Absolutely.
Because I'm feeling that everybody has a purpose in this life. Even an ant has a purpose, a snail has a purpose, a slug has a purpose. So humans have a purpose. Every flower has a purpose. Every herb has a purpose. So, we're living beings. We're living beings of energy, love, light. Of course, we're made up of skin and bones. And even upon death or the skin and bones, we can still give life to others. We can donate eyes, your heart, also marrow, bone marrow, to help others. So we have a purpose as well. And my purpose is to enlighten people, because I believe that all beings, well, most beings are enlightened, but it's my belief that we all are here to help others. Some of us don't learn lessons and we have to come back again or reincarnate. Some of us, from past karmic actions, we have to be accountable for. And perhaps we might come back as a woman, a man, a monkey, I don't know. Maybe I have been a monkey in a past life, who knows? But I was saying that I am Risa's blood, so maybe I was a monkey. But, your spirituality and your life is very important, because I feel we're entrapped in a spiritual world, a greedy world, cooperative companies. Everything is sell, buy. And, that's not what life's about, is it, really? Yes, we've got to be fed, we've got to have food, we've got to keep our physical being and our spirit alive. It doesn't mean we have to be greedy. And I always like to believe that money is for sharing, to help others. Some people seem to fall on their feet and been born with a silver spoon in their mouth and money's giving to them. What's the point of being a billionaire or a trillionaire that you don't do good with it? It's always the people that don't have nothing or a lot of money that's always giving and helping those less fortunate. We mustn't look down on anybody in this life. If somebody's disabled, if they're homeless, they're still a human being. And, people say, well, when we go over the other side, say somebody, for example, was born with no legs, what happens? Well, when they make the transition over to the other side, suddenly we have those spirit legs come back again. Because, you notice people, especially children, when they've got cancer, they're accepting of that. They have acceptance and they're not frightened or afraid. They take it, it's how it's meant to end, and it brings out compassion to people, it brings out love, and good things happen when people want to help those that are less fortunate. Then we get the greedy ones, don't we? Oh, I'm losing my looks, I better have some Botox. Oh, I better have cheek fillers. Oh, I better have silicone breasts. I better have false fingernails. False everything. Are you not a human being? What God's given you all these things. Make the best girls of what you got. That's what I say. Well, we can't be judgmental with people. We can't say, oh, you should be skinny, you shouldn't be fat. Most people I've met that are, I would say, very well covered, they're the nicest people going. And, we put too much things on the importance of how we should look, how we should act. I think this is a beautiful world, but unfortunately it's the people in it. And, you get people that are so greedy, so materialistic, they haven't thought of spiritual values. Being spiritual is not by any organised religion. Being spiritual is being part of nature, being who we are. And the most thing is, when I talk about love, love comes in very many forms. It doesn't matter if a person's gay, it doesn't matter if they're a gay man or a lesbian, it's love, it's how the person is. Now, for example, going back in history, the elephant man, he had grotesque features and everyone used him. I believe they still got his skull and and everything, bones in a museum. But he was the sweetest, kindest man, what I've read in the history books, and helped people. So, his life wasn't wasted because it's all his bones and things are in a museum to educate people. So, all this is that, I'm better than you. Nobody's better than anybody, because we all come the same route, my dears, and we all leave the same route. We're all passing through paying ground rent. So nobody, in reality, is better than anybody else. Spiritual people, spiritual values. You have to find your own guru, your sage, or an avatar in your own way. Now we're trying to make it that all spiritual people come together and do good work. And as I say, we're all passing through. If we can help those that we can, with our foundation and with my friends and that, we can make the world a better place by giving. All these designer clothes and that, who would know they were designer clothes unless you've got a big label across your chest? I'm wearing Chanel, look at me, I'm better than you. You could go to a charity shop and look like $1 million. It's who you are that counts. So love comes from the heart. Love is being kind. Love is listening to people if they feel suicidal in troubled times. Or, and I don't like this thing. My parents lived in South Africa. Now, I wouldn't go to South Africa because I didn't like the way the coloured people were treated. Because to me, we're all brothers and sisters. And I don't like this class thing and caste thing. I don't like that. Because I believe we're a living human being with our energy and good spiritual values. I don't go along with lots of different religions. There's only a religion I'm concerned about, the religion of love, because God gives us what we can deal with, and we're tested time and time again. And we think sometimes, why is this happening to me, God? Why not? You're a strong woman, you can cope. You need a strong woman behind a man. A man needs a very strong woman. Us women are very strong, because when we give birth to babies, we've got to be strong. Now, if men it was possible to have babies, they would have to be laid up for at least 2 or 3 years, and that. Where women, you get on with it, that's how we are. Because, we're nearer to death, most women are nearer to death when they are actually going into labour and things, but women don't think like that. Or they think it's a miracle that baby's born and they've got fingers, toes. Every baby that's born are beautiful. Every child that's born is beautiful, and they're innocent and they're pure. Children are not born with sin, they're pure. So I don't go along with that when some churches say, every child's got to be born with sin. A load of rubbish, man-made thing. There's good people in this life, there's bad people in this life, and that's how it's always been, right from the beginning of time. I'd probably be put on a witch's ducking stool and put down in the pond and that. And the thing is, at the end of time, people with gifts, the true people with gifts, they've got to use it for the power of good. God gives them gifts. It's very difficult to be a medium or a clairvoyant or a healer. These gifts don't come easily. You're tested through many incarnations. And as I say, you get people from all different walks of life, and you can't be judgmental. Now, if somebody, for example, feels like, I want to hang myself, I've had enough here and that is a personal decision, and you cannot be irresponsible and think, well, that person, they've committed suicide, they're going to hell. No such place as hell. Hell can be living here on the earth. It takes a lot for a person to think like that, and all that person wants is somebody put their arm around them and say, I do love you, you can help. You can help an awful lot of people. You've got to be in the right place at the right time. And all this talks about war and everything. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants war. They want to live in peace and harmony. And you think of all the animals too. I can remember going to Thailand just after they had disaster there, and I believe all the elephants run up to the mountains, and the what they call water gypsies. They live on barges there in Thailand. Suddenly all the sea level dropped down, and it was quite an eerie feeling, and the animals sensed and run up to the mountains and everything, because animals have a high vibration, because through their perceptions are heightened. Though animals can't always talk to us, they can sense things, see auras and everything. And it was quite a scary time for people there, but they all pulled it back together beautifully, and that they survived. Because we're a race that survives. We're the race that has to be really with compassion and love. But when you do get horrible, horrible people in this life, but you still got to pray for them. You don't know what they've been through. If somebody's homeless, you don't know what they've been through. You can't spit on them and get a job, be lazy. You don't know how they've suffered. They might have gone through a divorce. They might have been abused. They might have been worthless, low self-esteem. They're still a human being. And if you do your very best, buy them a coffee or you buy them food, it's giving something to show that somebody cares about you. If you see an abandoned animal, or you see somebody that's just put a dog by the side by the road, you know, that dog is just looking for someone to love them unconditionally, and that. And all these things are given to us as tests and everything. You know, in the future, and there will be a future, the planet's not going to finish like that, you're going to find humans are going to be so much different. We're all controlled, we feel we're all controlled by robots and Alexas and different things, technology changing, but it cannot take the human spirit out of us of love. No machine can do that. No machine on God's earth. A life-supporting machine can stop your life, that's true, but in years in the future, your dreams will reflect on wars and things, and the power of thought, like telepathic thoughts. You know, how wonderful. We don't need to write list or ask Alexa to remind us to get something. We can give a thought on the wall, I would like some groceries today, and it's picked up and received. Now, in the 21st century, when I was a little girl, I thought we had flying cars. Hasn't happened, does it? Though I believe they are working on things like this. But you know, we've got robots doing operations. We've got robots as bartenders on these great big cruise liners. And that's like the planet's gone mad and things. And I believe in the good old-fashioned ways that you share everything that you got. You know, even if somebody invites you around to supper and they just got bread and cheese, that somebody's given that with love. It doesn't have to be a 5-star hotel and be ripped off and think, oh, because I've put a white tablecloth and you've got a crystal glass, you're better than that lot down the end there, you know. That's not how it works. You know, to suffer in life and be stripped of money to start again is very good for us, because we want to make sure that we appreciate things in life. I mean, all these people live in great big houses, have maids, gardeners. Are they really happy? Are they really, really happy? I mean, you know, if you go back to the royal family and things like that, I do admire Princess Anne, because she didn't want to give her children titles. She wanted them to live an ordinary life as much as they could. I believe like Zara to do horse riding and one thing, and she had the right attitude, you see. But when you get these people that think they're better than others, that's not true, you know, because it's not until you lose somebody that's passed over on the other side, perhaps in death, and they come back and they give us evidence and they say, you know, I've gone to the most beautiful place. I really didn't want to come back here. And there was a guardian standing over me and saying, she's mine. And a door suddenly opened and I saw all my beautiful relatives and I saw my mother and I knew it was my mother's voice. I was so happy, so very happy. And then somebody called me back and said, she's got to come back, this guardian. And suddenly I woke up and I was in a hospital bed and I had just been resuscitated. And I can tell you, you have no fear of anything, because we're all going to go over there one day, but while we're here on the earth, do good things to help others. You know, even by people raising money for those goods. A lot of charities I don't go along with because it goes into administration. and these people don't get things. It's better if you were to go to a hospital, and perhaps children that have these special rooms, so they have all these sensory rooms and that, it'd be better to actually go and buy that and see that those children get those things, or television for wards, because otherwise all your money's going to administration and keeping these people in work. I'm not saying all charities, but it's be better to put it in somebody's hand. We don't need praise for things that we're doing, we'll do it with a good heart. But at the end of the day, as I say, the highest thing to have is love and kindness and your health. Your health is worth more than any wealth in the universe. You know, we don't need all these material things. We don't need all these flat screen TVs in every room. What a waste of time. We can go for nice walks, appreciate nature in the woods, listen to the owls, see the deer. How beautiful is that? We don't need to be brainwashed. We don't need to be watching certain programs of no interest whatsoever. Because I feel at the end of the day, best thing while we're still here, and we've got a bit more time, I hope, God willing, on the earth, that we can reach out and help others. Now, it sounds as if I'm waffling a bit, I probably am, but there you go, put up with me, because I'm putting up with you watching me. But, you know, in this life, it needs all the women in the world, in the universe, to get together. We don't want wars. We want to see our children grow and grandchildren and that, and all these making bombs and guns and killing machines. I would ban the lot of bombs and killing machines, personally. And that, but you're always going to get one person that wants to take over the world. It's happened from the beginning of the time. We went back to the Romans and we go back to the Vikings and that, so it's nothing new. We've always had plagues, we've always had flus and all germs and all these things. That's life, and you've got to get on with it and cope with it. So my mantra is, have no fear. Have no fear. Well, we're here, have no fear. And it's very, very, very powerful to not be frightened of anything. Be strong. You don't have to be cruel to people, but be strong, but be wise, like the North American Indians, like the wise medicine men and things, and also like the Aborigines, how we can learn from these people, how we can learn from the great people in the past, like Sir Winston Churchill, you know, made it strong for people going through the war and things. We don't want all Hitlers on the earth. Women don't want Hitlers like that. We want sweet men, not too sweet, strong men, not too sweet, but we want people that really care about us and going to take this world into the golden age, to the better place for every human being to be happy and share. I mean, you know, you can't take all these possessions and material things with you. They're no good to anyone. So you've got to enjoy your life while you're here, and the spirit is very, very strong. We don't want people turning around to us and telling me. I remember once somebody said to me, Jane, I knew who you were. You were a high priestess in a past life. I said, I jolly well hope not. They were prostitutes. I don't think I was one of those. Anyway, getting back to reality again. Yes, many lives we live and many past incarnations. It doesn't matter what you were in a past incarnation, it's what happens in this incarnation. So you will meet up with people that you were in a past incarnation, like we have with our dear friends. You know, you feel the connection. You've known them from the past. When they open their mouth, you know, I just know what you're going to say and everything. So we're very blessed that way, very lucky. You don't think the great divines put us all here to blow one another up, do you? No, we're here to help others to make it a better place. And that we all got hands, we all got eyes to see, we all got legs to walk, so we can help others. My dear friend, I watched her help an old lady cross the road, such a brave girl, put her hand up to stop the traffic, like a queen, and they obeyed the queen. She might have been Cleopatra in a past life, who knows, and helped this dear lady across the road and that. And I thought, well, that is a very spiritual act. That shows that there's love there. And the lady appreciated it, But you know, all these cars that wouldn't let this lady go past, but he took a very strong woman, stop! And that's what happens. So, all of you, stop! And think, we don't want wars, we want love. And now I'm going to leave you there, and I will be on here again, and I want to say, look after yourselves, love each other, be friends to each other, and have no fear. Have no fear, okay? All work together as one. God bless you, God be with you, and off I go for a cup of tea now.